Bada bing, bada boom, folks, we are live. Welcome to the Psy TAi podcast, where we talk we listen to that gut, combine it with our mind and our hearts, and we let whatever come out, just come on out. Welcome to the Psy TAi once again. Man, we got some awesome articles coming your way. As start off with Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz has decriminalized magic mushrooms. Yes, it's very good times. Because something to be excited about. The momentum is moving forward in a very momentous way. But y'all know how we do it here. If y'all want to join the conversation, the Thai-versation, and join in the chat, the Discord is right there. Just talk things out and have some fun. Morning, Astro Way. Yes, the flames is high. The flames is high today, man. We on fire, doing a lot of work, man. Things can't change without fire. You're just watching of the old videos. I was just talking to somebody about the old videos because they was asking me how long I've been doing this, and I said I've been doing this for literally probably like 5 years. I was just uploading random videos and so scattered and just doing different things. I'll be forgetting what I was actually doing. I just know the time frame. But thanks, Astro Way. What did you think? And while you at it with that, here go the news I was saying earlier. You got some classics. I was high. Whoa, I really went in on this juice yesterday. Before I do that, I got this new vape pen. I got a new, an actual vape mod. It's the Vaporoso. I'm a write on here and put the Tyroso or something. Put my own logos on there. But it's pretty good. You can adjust the temperature. For those in the vape world, it's a dual battery thing. So it got the thing right there. I like the case that is magnetic. And no, I'm not sponsored by them, but if y'all want to help out, man, many vape sponsors out there. What's going on, Rate the Matrix? Hey, Yolanda. Just talking about this new vape I got, so I can make my own oils with the concentrates. Oh yeah, man, and I like this because I can put it at a setting where it's like I'm just puffing the L or something, but a really potent ass L. So while I'm working, I can just tote and then keep it going and really get a big dab hit. Like that cloud right now was vicious, and I ain't used to that. I had the little stick pin, and then when I was there, the tank broke. Here go the tank right here, cracked because it fell out my pocket. I was at the store. And I was just going through, I'm starting to listen to my thoughts a lot more. And my thoughts was like, man, you know what you really want. You know the experience you're trying to get out of these pens. It's like, just put the extra change forward. Money ain't really nothing. It's like, I had to really look at it like that to convince myself to get it. And then I was just flowing with the lady, asking her questions. I was like, woo. I got to do one that's going to kill me real quick, just so I can get ultra high and keep talking. But if I put this thing on 80, hold on. Oh, I had to test it. But yeah, that shit hit. Oils with Decriminalizes. I never heard that word, but I heard the vegetable thing. I bought something that actually had it already mixed in together. Hold on, where's it at? So just in case y'all want to do this at home. Where's it be? This take more than 5 seconds, I'm gonna stop. Alright, here it is. You said I had to use to take Shaddy and make some shatter. Oh, shatter and make some good vape. That's what I had, some shatter. Cause I just It broke so easily. Here it is right here. I use this wax liquid right here. What's in there? This one has food grade polyethylene glycol. This is a Vaporoso. It just came out last year. It's a little like, I was looking at the reviews of it. They saying it's a little more compact and sleeker than their other ones. The other ones had all these funky designs on the outside and stuff. And the settings is awesome. Seem like I'm selling that, but the settings is awesome, man. Oh, I am. I'm planning on it. I just got this 2 days ago. I say, yo, once I get a good day off and some time, I'm putting some DMT in here. But I probably buy a whole nother tank, so I can always just have the always just have a DMT tank and a vape juice tank. Just have it sitting there. But no, I want to do that. Yeah, rate the Matrix. That's what it is. That's what it is. The that polyethylene thing. Yeah, this is still the old thing. But yeah, yeah. How's your day going? You fix this mic. Bang bang. Test. There we go. Alright, man. I can't hear that happen again. There we go. Alright, we back in. Santa Cruz decriminalizes magic mushrooms and other natural psychedelics, making it the third U.S. city to take such a step. Oh, this is CNN. The city of Santa Cruz, California, has become the largest city to decriminalize magic mushrooms. They got that in quotations. And other natural psychedelics, including ayahuasca, peyote. They better say DMT. I'm clicking on it. And shout outs to Wild Ninja Man. He comes on here. Wild Ninja Man, he's on the council and he was in Santa Cruz making this happen. He joins in the Thai stream and on True Stream. He part of the fam. He was down here making this happen, getting the signatures, talking to people so that vote can get in. And look at the results. It looks like you're using an ad blocker. I don't care. Ad blockers on websites is so funky. The city of Santa Cruz, this CNN saying this. They voted unanimously to approve a resolution that makes ingesting and arresting people under 21 and older for using or possessing psychoactive plants and fungi among the lowest priorities for law enforcement. Tuesday's resolution doesn't necessarily make it legal, but it does mean the city would not be using resources to investigate or arrest people for doing so. People could face penalties for the sale or cultivation of those substances. Santa Cruz is the third city to take such a step. Denver voted to decriminalize psychedelic mushrooms in May of last year, while Oakland decriminalized all psychedelic plants and fungi shortly after. The resolutions are ordered Denver don't apply to drugs such as LSD and MDMA. Oh, I didn't know that part. Okay. Because which are synthetic. So the way they got it on the ballot was by saying how natural this shit was. Natural this awesomeness was. That grows out of shit. They need to do Chicago already. Yeah, they write about that. Oregon has a campaign called Psy 2020 and is lobbying for a measure on the ballot that can make the use of psilocybin, the hallucinogenic, legal statewide. Yeah, statewide, not just one city. Hopefully Kylie get on ballot with this by the next by 2020. No sassafras. I was just watching Psych Substance, and I finally figured out what sassafras was. Like literally before I turned on the podcast, he was doing MDA. Yeah, that's what it's MDA. Nah. If the measure passed, the Oregon Health Authority will oversee a program that will allow psilocybin to be administered in licensed therapeutic environments and supervised by trained professionals. People will not need a mental health diagnosis to receive therapy. Oh, according to language in the measure. Okay, so they ain't going to be judging people. You're just going to be like, man, I just want to get things out. I want to encounter something in my life to bring me to the next step. Create the greatest version of myself. We think that this is a novel approach. We think this novel approach can help alleviate the mental health crisis here in Oregon by addressing epidemics like suicide, treatment-resistant depression, anxiety, PTSD, and addiction to drugs, alcohol, and nicotine. PSI Chief Petitioners Tom and Sherry Eckert says on the campaign website. And look at them using that word novel. I only hear much from people use the word novel. A lot. Watching all that Terrence McKenna. MDMA basically, I guess. That's what they just really showed that quick advertisement on. That's what Psych Substance was trying to see in his video. He was comparing sassafras to MDMA. And he had that guy, what's his name? Quentin. And he never did any of it before, like MDMA or Molly, anything. So he just did sassafras and went in. And he felt the love. He just wanted the hug. I still haven't done it yet. As well. We think, additionally, the measure will open doors for new research and create access for services for those interested in personal development. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, interested in personal development. Just like, I just want to be a better person. And people go to therapy to be a better person. And some people say, I ain't going to therapy because it costs too much, or I don't want to talk to another person about my problems. But now, man, you just talking to yourself. I campaigned for a similar measure on the ballot. Yeah, California is also. The measure would decriminalize personal possession, use, and cultivation of psilocybin statewide for people 18 and older. That's a whole nother field. I like that. I like hearing those words. For use and cultivation, 18 and older. Wow. Alcohol, 21. Last year, Iowa. Oh, Iowa trying to hop in. Jeff Shipley introduced 2 bills in the legislature to decriminalize psilocybin for medicinal purpose and remove it from a list of Schedule I controlled substances. Hey, 420 Lifestyle, you said legal mushrooms? You mean the government went out their way to legalize it? Something fishy here. I don't know. I don't think they did it. I think it's the people on the ground. But I know what you mean to always have those antennas raised. But look at it like this. When I be looking at the government finally getting on board with stuff, I be looking at it as the government of my mind finally getting aboard with shit. And it's still gonna come with whatever mess it come with. Like when anything is given power, it's gonna go this way and go that way at the same time. But at least now we can go this way. At least now we can go this way and keep building up. Because you know the stigmatism is strong. Stigmatisms and ideas are strong. So if something is saying, what I'll be looking at is if somebody is saying that it's illegal, like the people that's already doing stuff that's illegal, and like they know it's like the best thing for them and stuff, man, we the goats. Everybody's a goat, but y'all know we goats. But for everybody else, like the stigmatism is so strong that they wouldn't even come near this type of stuff. Just having that word illegal or something on it. Just like with weed. I'm thinking about weed. and how people wouldn't smoke until they started seeing it on CNN and the research being done for medicinal purposes, like PTSD and stuff like that. But yeah, our government always gonna do something. But I'm thinking about the people, and just being able to have a more relaxed mind on the being able have a more relaxed mind when going into these realms of dealing with their own consciousness. Cause then like, I actually might want to talk to somebody about this, and not just hide it, not just hide it. But the government, though, to go with you for 20 lifestyles, they probably can see how a lot of people going to be on these substances and not being able to get and exploring realms they not comfortable with. So now with the advertisements and the way that they push things out into the weather, like the weather of emotions through subliminals and stuff, like they already doing, it's probably going to be either washed away, like people gonna catch on to it even more, or it's gonna be the group of people that just fall for it even more heavier. Which is alright, which is okay. That just keeps the world turning, going round and round and round and round. But yeah, it's cool. Now if I press this 3 times, then it won't fire off when it's in my pocket. Alright, so that's why I wasn't doing anything. Alright. Oh, y'all can't see the screen I'm looking at. But I think that's all they have. And this was on CNN. That's wild. I don't watch CNN, but I know a lot of other people do. What's going on, Better Off Dead 44? Throwing up them gang signs. Oh, something else that popped up. Dang, I forgot the whole name of his skate shop. I ran into a guy that's a professional skateboarder. Y'all know I skate a lot. He is a professional skater. He's in Chico for a while where I'm at. But he's opening up a skate shop in Sacramento. And we was talking for like a good 2-3 hours. It was a nice conversation. Cause I had a little mushroom yesterday, so I was just in that zone to talk while I was working. And he done them before, and he was talking to me about his experiences. So the exchange of energies was cool. Cause y'all know I still don't really talk that many. I'm still getting assimilated to the outside world, coming back outside the house and stuff, and wanting to interact and build and network with people instead of just saying hi and stuff. And it's dope. I said it's dope. It's cool like 5 million times. That dab got me. That dab got me. But it's interesting to see people that's on a similar wavelength. And when I'm talking to them, it's like we figured each other out already in like just a good 5-10 seconds. And now we just talking about things that we already know we both familiar with. Like, he was 30, I was 28, but we all are similar. He likes what kind of music I listen to. And I listen to everything but country. I was like, just play whatever. And this nigga, he played classical music. And I was cool. I was like, yo, I like this. And then he was playing hip hop, and he played a lot of Mac Dre because he's from Sacramento and stuff. He said, "Oh, you ever heard of Mac Dre?" I heard of Mac Dre. I said, I know all this music stuff. So we was going down the line. It was just cool sharing similar vibes and wavelengths with somebody, because it was a lot of I don't know if he recognized what was going on, but I recognized a lot of telepathy going on. Telepathy going on and stuff, exchanging and us guessing on and him asking questions, and I was like, do he really like it was like he was on the podcast. He's asking the same type conversations we be having. So one day we were close and close with Path. What's going on, Nicholas Joshua? Nicholas. Oh, yeah, let's do that. I'm just over here in Chico, working on getting a car by the summertime. I'm growing up, big boy status. I used to have a car back in the day, and the cops took it. I didn't have insurance at the time. They got me. Yeah, I'm gonna have a car soon, so I'm gonna be driving to different spots, making videos, and being able to access more, like go deeper into the woods and drive to different counties here in North Cal and bring the scenery to y'all. Get upgraded equipment like 4K, like real good 4K cameras. It's this 4K 360 camera that I want to get, and this stereoscopic 4K. So it has two cameras in the front, in the back, and on the side. So when it stitches it, instead of just one in the front, one in the back, and one on each side, so that it combines both images. So when you watching it, you get not only just the 360 like up and down view, but you get depth as well. So it really will seem like you're there. I'm like, yo, I gotta get that. It costs like $700 I saw, but it's well worth it. Because there's other programs I want to invest in for Adobe Premiere Pro, and it allows you to add fractals and add all of these cool video elements to 360 videos that I haven't seen before, even on YouTube videos. Like I'm thinking that this is the equipment used by professionals when I read their reviews and stuff, like used by professionals for music reviews, art exhibits, and subscription payments that they making people pay for in order to see. And I stumbled across it, and I was like, whoa, I downloaded the demo when I was messing around with it. I wish I can show y'all an example, but I really can't, because I don't know nobody's using it on YouTube. Oh, Metal. Yeah, it's called Metal Mantra. I was looking up the crack. I couldn't find the crack. But we going to pay for it. Let me show y'all an example. Because this is dope. This is technology. And soon I want to make trip simulation videos in 360. So like you just wake up and it's like you're taking a trip, get all the visual effects going on. I have a ton of ideas, bro. So if any of y'all know how to do apps too, another idea I want to do some meditation apps or something like that where I can record, and then we can have an app where people can log into, put in their headphones and put on the goggles. You can even use your phone or something like that. Get in the Google Play Store, and they can just sit and relax. But they can seem like they're at the beach, or they're on top of the mountains, or they're inside a fractal dimensional space with colors flying around them. Whatever your choice. Here it is right here. Hold on. Let's see if they got a... Let's bring the screen back over. See if they got a cool example. It should be a video. Create 3D objects and no. Oh, here it is. This is the one video I saw. Hey, good morning. Yeah, you can do stuff like this. Hey, good morning. Give me a hug. Oh, yeah, that's about it with that. Oh, here, come on. Alright, go use the bathroom. Wash your face. Because I already know. Go ahead. I don't play too much of the video. I don't want to get copyrighted. My bad for that. But y'all get to see a little what I'm talking about. And I'm sorry the screen was so small too. And Joshua, you said, will they ever legalize Dimitri in our lifetime? Joshua, you said nope. Alright. Like statewide, citywide. Who's the tail? Who's the tail? But that is a huge leap. Cause then what would be the I guess they would say PTSD or something. I'm trying to see what would be the catalyst. What would be the door to get that in. DMT. You said DMT is so extreme, extra weight. I don't think it's ever going to be legal. Yeah, I was looking up. It became illegal in 1968, right alongside LSD, which then catalyzed the United Nations blanket ban on all psychotropic compounds in 1971. Let's look up why. Oh, I thought you was able to see the screen. I was looking up why it was illegal in the first place. DMT is illegal because of a United Nations convention. Wait, there it is. Convention on Psychotropic Drugs in 1971 that all countries signed except East Timor, Estoria, Guinea, Haiti, Carbita, Libya, Nuria, Somalia, Solomon Islands, South Sudan. Oh, they made sure. So those are the places you can go. They ain't signed that DMT bill. DMT is illegal because LSD was made illegal, which then catalyzed the United Nations ban. The United Nations Convention on even higher than morphine, amphetamines. Yep. Yeah, I know it's not as dangerous as people think. Yep, there's no reported deaths of anyone smoking DMT. Yeah, this is somebody's personal experience. Yep. I think it'll be more accepted the more psilocybin and LSD go legal. Yeah, that's something to think about. The more it become legal, and then that simulation still going to take a long time. Because it's going to be the people taking all the little doses, talking the most, talking more than the people taking the big doses. And then it's going to keep edging up. Like right now, it seems like the 1 gram people talking more up in the news and stuff. And then it's going to be the 3 gram people talking the most. And then the 5 gram people getting the most attention. And then keep on going up. And that's a good play on life. When you think about, when you just tie on that. Everything moving with each other. The arguments, the flows, and the watchers. Just watching everything play. Oh, that dab really got me. It feels good. Yo, Asher, why you take any trips lately? Or anyone? It It was something else. Oh, there it is. That's Psy 2020. I gotta close the store. Welcome back. No. She here? Oh. Alright, well. Yeah, dude, I don't live around there. I'm live. Isn't it Astro, why you say, yeah, bro, it's like the more you see in other world, the less you can say here. Isn't it funny how they have anti-tobacco products next to cigarette area? Yeah. It's like they just want to see what you do. Or we on some scale want to see what we do. Astro, the way it is like that, the more you see, the less you had to say. And then you just assimilate your talking to what's going on around you. It seems the deeper you go, it's like you don't even, I don't know, unless it's in a book or you just tying for a moment and stuff like that. You looking for this? You assimilate it into a way where people understand, like by using movies or something like that, or a lot of metaphors or poetry, or not saying nothing at all and just letting it work out through other people. Like working in a corporation. I'm thinking like working in a corporation. Like they got the media team, they got the work people doing all of the other things, then a person like that's up there that see the vision of the company and how it's moving and stuff. They just have to keep working with that vision and relay it a little bit, or just be themselves. Just be themselves. Just by being them, everything else starts working out. By listening to the thoughts in their head. Hey, welcome, Esco the boss. Not really sure what that says, but welcome. Why go on? Oh yeah, I think but what would a society be too? Oh, what up, bro? Yeah, I think I got the gist when I first was reading it, but I tried to break it down and it just broke my brain. But hey, what's going on with your day? What's new in the ethers? Oh, and to shout out this company right here. This is that company, Psy 2020. So that if people are living up in Oregon, you can join the society and help so that it can kind of be legalized there. Oh, they got Paul Stamus right there. I think he lives up there. He lives in NorCal, Oregon, I think. Yeah, in his videos he be in there when he be hunting for mushrooms and stuff. Oh, guys, I got something for y'all. What y'all think about to take 4 grams later? Oh, buckle your seatbelts. Enjoy. What kind of mushroom is it? What kind of mushroom is it? You know, the strain. And why you saying that? It was this magic. Wait, no. I don't know. This company trademarked psilocybin. I think. Psilocybin. Oh, Amazonian. Ozo showed me a couple pictures of those. Mystery Ozo. Yeah, take flight. Let go, let loose. I'm looking it up right now. I'm trying to look it up. Somebody. Do you have an intention on why you're doing it? Like, are you going in for the experience, or are you going in for the heel or the face something, or for the journey, just the journey? What's on the agenda? Are you like you want to take it in the dark, or are you taking it listening to music on the park, in the house? It's a lot of questions. And you don't have to answer any of them. I'm just asking. Man, I can't find it now. It was this company that trademarked the word psilocybin for their company of chocolates. And they was promising that they weren't going to sue people that in the future will use that name, but they were using it to protect the name from big corporations that don't know about psychedelics and will want to use the name to catapult their own careers without ever indulging into the experience. So that's their that's why they say when you buy the chocolate, it has instructions and information about mushrooms to inform you about mushrooms and stuff like that. So they see it as like a ticket thing to get people out there and to get the information out there about these substances. King Oz, hey. And you said, Esco the boy said, I need to see some past life in different timelines. Need to watch a couple movies. Need to be in a couple movies. Try and act in a couple movies for a minute. Yeah, Asteroid, that's wild. And they went forward with it too. I said, I need to do that. Wink, wink. Company. I gotta find what this one is. Company trade marks magic mushroom. Here it is. Found it. First, I was pissed. I was like, "Whoa, hold up, hold up." There it is right here. Says, as psychedelics reform efforts pick up across the U.S., there's an increasing wariness among advocates about the potential corporatization that may follow. And you know it's going to come because they did this with weed. But that's why we on it creating now. We creating substances and, experiences and companies and stuff now. Psilocybin, TM, like they really got the trademark right there. That's outrageous. But hey. Is a brand of chocolates that do not contain the psychedelic itself, but are meant, I keep zooming in on where, but are meant to begin educating, enlightening, and supporting the community and upgrading their inner vibrations in order to get everything they want on their time here on Earth. I like that. I like how you put that, though. Yeah, right there go the patent, right there. Psilocybin. Oh, people smart. The reality of this what they say. The reality of this peculiar trademark is more nuanced than it might appear at first glance. While it's true that the company was granted the distinction by the U.S. Patent and Office Trademark, it's specifically for educational material, and it's listed on a supplemental register rather than the principal register, which means it would be incumbent upon the brand to prove that it has earned distinctiveness of the mark if the issue went to court. Yeah, like how you do got it. Yeah, I see what they saying. All right. I'm glad that they didn't get to like claim it and say that they discovered it, they made it up, and all this other weird stuff. Okay, it's certainly good for business to have that mark, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to be somewhat weak. Larry Sandel said. All right, yeah, yeah. I'm saying what I was saying about people going to be hopping on this train. Hmm. All right, yeah, that's cool. So that's that. That's that news. Business is booming. Business is moving. And that's why it's up to us to just keep on going. Because we got to make these moves. I'm working on getting the Just Tie trademark. I'm alright. I got this. I'm running low on. Is B out there? No. I'm gonna have to get some more vape. But thanks though. Yeah, I'm working on getting the Just Tie Now trademarked and a couple other things dealing with websites trademarked and domains and stuff. And if y'all got any ideas, let's work together. Let's come together on this. Because we like we already doing. Because this is going to keep moving. It's going to keep moving. I remember when cannabis was first coming, like the documentaries was first coming out on YouTube about cannabis, and they was talking to the veterans and people like Vice and stuff was doing all these wild, like, well, not wild, but for the time, wild interviews and new information coming on the forefront. Then the news started picking up on it, and then you started hearing about all these startup companies, success, multi-millionaires, and out of the blue, and now they got generational wealth. Like, that's where it's at. Generational wealth. Where it comes easy and simple, or where you don't gotta kill yourself. Like, let's work with these plants, man. These plants is us. We got the information. Like, we are the information. We going into these experiences. Like, anyone that has gone into these experiences in this point in time is really like pioneers. Pioneers, just like everybody felt when they was left their country and was sailing across the Atlantic or the Pacific, and not just the Europeans, but the Africans, the Vikings, the people that made it over to Australia, like everywhere. Like, that's the feeling. And now coming back to the country where you resided at, and being like, hey, like, this is what I saw and this is what's going on. And there's not too many people that made that journey yet, or even know of that journey, or even like the things that we're witnessing is only experienced in movies. Like, a taste of it is in movies, and movies are like doing their best in order to recreate it. Because I see, like, the feeling is always there, but if you not really in touch with that feeling, like that source feeling that you get out of movies that correlate with the trips and stuff, but you can see how they put it in their own plane of movies. Like, you can get it, but now because technology and stuff, and people are getting smarter, like, people are legitly getting smarter, having these experiences, the producers, having trips, as well as the set designers, the makeup artists, designing the aliens and the sets and the lightings and the cut scenes, and like, not cut scenes, but when things cut to a different scene like this and it's at that angle, like, that's all trippy shit. And that people are getting more, like, people are growing up, like, that's been doing it since teenage years, like in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that. Like, the people in the 60s, I see them, like, they chilling, like, they probably doing stuff with the law a little bit, or like I don't know, they probably left society, or they doing they magicians just hiding in secrets, the ones that's really still on board with it since way back when. But the newcomer ups, like the ones in their 30s, I see, like, more of them being in the politics and in the technology and stuff like that, and now having the psychedelic voice more heard in different fields. And I just lost my whole tangent. Oh, movies and stuff. And now they growing up having these experiences and wanting to do something with their life. And now not feeling so like, oh, I can't relate these experiences to no one, or I feel this bad about myself, or I have to give this up to a religion. So that's all I chug this experiences up. It don't really mean nothing past that. They like, this is something that means something to my life. And now I can put it into a movie. I can work with this crew. I see how my friends are really me and how we're all creating this reality all together. Let's do the best possible job and work with these plants in order to bring forth a vision for whatever cause. Like, even if it's the so-called inspire other people to be their best version without having to take the substance, or to the hidden few be like, this is itching my head about something. Like, man, there's something else behind this movie that's correlating to something that can actually happen in my life. Like, you know how it would be watching them fantasy movies and getting lost in it and be like, man, that thing is probably a shroom. Like, now I watch stuff, I be seeing how I was watching Yes Man and he had a seizure or something. Like, he was just shaking on the couch randomly. I think he hit his head. Like, a lot of instances in movies where people bump their head or have a random car accident or something like that. And then they life change and reality change around. I'm like, that's like somebody just popping a shroom. But they couldn't make it so simple, because if you just pop a shroom, to people that never took it, it's gonna be like, how does this bring about this experience? Like, it don't legitimately correlate to their imagination, like to their belief, their ideas, what they grew up in at all. So in the movies, they switch it up and say they had an accident, and then that's an action movie or something like that. And then in fantasy movies, they have, oh, you had this, eat of this herb. Like, even in big movies now, like the Black Panther. You know how he turned to the Black Panther once he had that herb, that purple heart herb or something like that, and then he died and came back. And what I meant by showing the thing about the mushrooms is the viciousness and how you literally feel like you dying, but it's a pleasant feeling at the same time. But you know how it is. It's not too. it's anxiety come with it at times. Who wants to, like, dying? You dying, but So to show that in movies, that feeling, they got to show something real traumatic happening to the main character before they can show all these life-changing events. And then at the end of the movie, it was all like a dream or something like that. And then the people around them, like in The Wizard of Oz, start saying, oh, well, it's all right. It's okay. It's all right. You were just dreaming. It's like, no, you were there. But you was a scarecrow. It's a crazy. Oh, something on Jessica. That was the only thing. I didn't even see the chat. It's a crazy creation. This whole thing is crazy, and it needs to be crazy. I want it to be as crazy as possible, because, like, when things aren't really crazy, it's boring. It's really boring, and we talk about this before. How movies and stories start with like a really sad beginning or a real tragic beginning. It's like, that's just how it starts, and then it starts going off, and then it starts like back into enormous, into like trying to find a balance from that extreme, and then it's like, what is that balance? Is there really a balance? And then you just keep going back and forth, and sometimes you're there, sometimes the balance is shifting, and then you just, then you look at the big whole picture. That's why I like these psychedelics. They let me know that even when the balance seems like it's down there, it's okay. Just make sure you balancing down there. Don't keep trying to fight and make it up there just because at one point it was up there. Like, sometimes it's right there. Just my opinion sees it down there. My experience is seeing it down there. But really, it's all the same thing. It's really all the same thing, man. Because you got to catch yourself. I got to catch myself when things get a little too hectic. Because it's like, wow. Because adding that too hectic is like, man, it's me just seeing myself caught up in the whirlwind instead of being the whirlwind. Like, no, I am this whirlwind, man. Let's go. Let's ride the roller coaster. It's magnificently magnificent. Magnetically magnificent. Or magnificently. One of the two. And it's complete madness to some. And that's why we seem crazy and talking to some. And I used to seem crazy to myself. Cause the way that we tie on here, I just let it skedaddle. I just let it go out, man. Like a fire hydrant. Like you just let it go and just don't get shot back, man. I'm thinking about fire hydrants when we used to turn it up, man. They used to come on too hard. And you used to sit in front of it and let it just like hit your stomach like, oh, or uh, I used to be so upset when the fireman that lived on our block used to turn off the fire hydrant. Because he said, yo, y'all can't do this. So we used to do it on days when he wasn't at work because we knew where he lived at. And my mom used to do it too. Just get the pliers and just turn that on. Have a nice summer day. My mom was a G. Still is to this day. But oh, I was thinking about the madness, and how once you get there, how how magnificent it is. How magnificent it is, especially when you start living in it. Cause like I was saying, that balance and flow and stuff like that. I was saying my character and how I was still holding on to ideas of trying to keep things straight, keep things steady, keep things like at a way that I can think about them and think things out and know what's going to happen. And if I don't know what was going to happen, just pray to God that he was going to, was going to have the best ideals way played out for me as long as I prayed every day and went to church and left the madness up to him, up to something bigger. And I'm not saying this flesh and blood thing right here is the biggest picture of me. It's just the vocal voice chatterbox that I need to use to form words and talk and stuff. But y'all know that, man. We've been tying for a long time. We don't got to backtrack and explain ourselves every day. But just tie. Just think about it. Just think about it. Because I'm just about to go into religion. What's going on, Psy TAi? What's happening? I was about to go into a little about religion again, and how is religion makes is comfortable. Oh, it's an old slip. I learned this quote through Slipknot because they had a song called Opium. Opium, I think it's called Opium. Yeah, Opium of the People, and they got it because of the people. They got it because it was a Karl Marx quote that said religion is the opium of the people. And what I get out of that is like opium is something that feels good. You just breathe it in. The Chinese still do opium. They was doing it for thousands of years, and it keeps your mind at a certain state of comfortability and openness and stuff like that. I never did opium, so I can't really say the physical and really how it feel, but that's the overarching premise of it. So Karl Marx was saying opium is the religion of the people, and he was saying like that's what keeps them okay. It keeps them all right, keeps them going, keeps them being able to keep the thought patterns and ideas that they have about their character strong, and like, this is who I am. I'm a person here that worships God. I have these character traits about me. I'm a nice character. I don't sin, or I sin, but I make sure that I ask God to forgive me because I'm not really supposed to sin, but it's in my flesh and stuff like that. Just making excuses and trying to separate yourself from who you really are instead of combining it all together and really figuring it out. Really seeing the big picture, tying it all together and really seeing the big picture. Or believing that you can even tie it all together. Like, you're just seeing yourself as a character in the play. Instead of like, you know how we make fun of actors? How we saying, man, them actors is dumb. They don't have no real thoughts in their head. All they know how to do is act. And then they go home and they just know how to buy things and buy clothes and take pictures and stuff like that. But they just actors. They don't really have substance to them. They like, you know how people talk like that. And so now, and Jetski said we supposed to live in sin every day. Man, I don't even believe in sin. So I think sin is a form of restriction, because the way that sin is even created as the word being sin and being put out into the psyche, is a word that's meant to restrict you, to make you think twice or think 5 times, to the point where you don't even want to ever envision yourself even enacting that. Like, even the vision of you doing that is cause for damnation and stuff. And Psy here, yeah, you said when you do wrong, simple. That's what Psy said. When you do wrong, simple. Plain and simple. You don't need a list of rules, because life is magic and life is subjective. In order for magic to work, it has to be subjective and work off of what the moment is calling for. Not an objective experience where a thing like traditions or something that got you through something before is definitely, if acted out in the same exact way, is going to get you out of this situation. Here go the thing right here where I was saying, if y'all want to look it up in y'all time, said religion is the opium of the people is most frequently paraphrased statements of German philosopher and economics Karl Marx. It is translated from the German original Die Religion. Die Religion ist das Opium des Volkes. Volkes. I thought that said Vacas at first. I was about to say, what? And is often regarded as religion is the opiate of the masses. Opiate is a term classically used in pharmacology to mean a drug derived from opium. Opioid is a more modern term. It's used to designate all substances, both natural and synthetic, that bind to opioid receptors in the brain. And it originated from the contribution of critique of Hegel's philosophy of right in 1843. Oh, he didn't publish it till after his death. Okay. Full quotation. Das Religion. That's good. That's bad. That's what just you do. Oh, I messed up that last part. And the quotation in context reads as follows. Oh, that's pretty long. I'm just going to read the first part just because I'm here. The foundation of irreligious criticism is man makes religion. Religion does not make man. Religion is indeed the self-consciousness, the self-esteem of man who has either not yet won through to himself or has already lost himself again. But man is no abstract being and squatting outside the world. Man is the world of man state society. This state and this society produce religion, which is an inverted consciousness of the world, because they are an inverted world. Religion is the general theory of this world, an encyclopedic compendium. Its logic in popular form, its spiritual point de or its enthusiasm, its moral sanction, its solemn complement, and its universal basis of causation and justification. It is the fantastic realization of the human essence, since the human essence has not acquired any true reality. The struggle against religion is, therefore, indirectly the struggle against that word whose spiritual aroma is religion. Religious suffering is, at one and the same time, the expression of real suffering and a protest against real suffering. Religion is the sigh of the oppressed creature, the heart of a heartless world, and the soul of soulless conditions. It is the opium of the people. The abolition of religion has the illusory happiness of the people. It is the demand for their real happiness. To call on them to give up their illusions about their condition is to call on them to give up a condition that requires illusions. The criticism of religion is therefore an embryo. The criticism of that vial of tears of which religion is the halo. I love how he put that. I'm glad we got to read that whole thing instead of just that quote. Because it's a case for it and against it all in the same time. And that's what makes it beautiful. That's what makes it beautiful. Because it what keeps the people going. But it is like the most popular misunderstanding of the world. Like, we all misunderstand the world. We all see the world in this way. Let's all agree. Let's all just agree and keep it like that. And write it down. Yeah, but that's cool. That was Karl Marx's quote. That's what he had to say. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm about to be done. I want to thank y'all guys for still being here and coming through. Yeah, you can take the tablet. And coming through. And to try some cacao. Man, I've been trying some cacao in my own tea with the lion's mane too. And it's really giving me an energy boost. Just like they be saying with the cacao, people having cacao ceremonies. I'm like, man, just add some mushrooms to that, guys, man. Stop playing yourselves. But they having some cacao ceremonies and getting some good results from it. But I like it because it's really giving me a lot of energy. Like how people say coffee does and stuff like that. And I don't really be believing in energy boost products or anything until I take them. Like, I never did like drunk Monster energy drinks or stuff like that. I never did anything in order to get extra energy except for smoke, which really wouldn't give you that much more energy, but it does in some cases. Oh, I'm gonna show you. Yolanda. I'm trying to type it in now. It's cacao powder. It's like unprocessed chocolate. I have some ideas of getting into all of this, like making it all into a Thai business, having this lion's mane mushrooms and doing all this stuff and having a market for it. But here goes some right here. Yeah, and the cacao, how did I miss that part? That's how I ran across it. I ran across cacao because I just read that first sentence that reminded me. Cacao used to be used alongside mushrooms in order to make the trip last longer. It has an MAI inhibitor in there. Excuse me. Inhibitor in there so that the trip can like do more, get more into your body, get more into your bloodstream, do more, like get in there, and it makes you feel good. That's why Hershey chocolates is so popular. The original one at least, and then they took the good stuff out of it or just made it more processed and kept the Hershey's name, and they like, we got them with the symbol. Now we gotta do is put this symbol on it, and they're going to enjoy it just like it's the real thing. But here it goes. Cacao is thought to have been used by Mayans. Yep. It was introduced to Europe by Spanish conquistadors in 16th century. Cacao is made by crushing cacao beans and removing the fat or cocoa. Is it cocoa powder or cacao butter? I don't know. Today, cacao is most famous for its roles in chocolate production. Yep, I was saying. Rich in polyphenols that provide, what's the health benefits? All right. Polyphenols are naturally occurring antioxidants found in foods like fruits, veggies, tea, chocolate, and wine. They are linked to numerous health benefits, including reduced inflammation, better blood flow, lower blood pressure, and improved cholesterol and blood sugar levels. Oh, there's a lot going on. Yeah, once you heat it, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Once you heat cacao, it can cause the lose the beneficial properties, often treated with alkaline to reduce bitterness, which results in a 60% decrease in flavor. I thought I said flavor, flavonoid content. Yeah, so Hershey's, if it still had it in there, it would have all that stuff, but no, it doesn't. May reduce. Yeah, this all stuff I never heard of either. Lower risk of heart attack and stroke. Oh, that's cool. So it's a lot going on. And what I was getting into was that I forgot about was the mushroom thing. Bang bang. I guess I gotta put in magic mushrooms. I'm gonna see somebody's trip story real quick, and then I'm gonna have to log off, and we can come back and do the Psy TAi podcast 62. But 61 is going very fine. Thank you, Londa, Jessica, Sahi, Astro Wade and King Eyes, Esco the Boss, 420 Lifestyles, Nicholas Joshua, and Better Off Dead 44, 444, Rate the Matrix, everybody for coming through. Just in case I miss out on saying it later. But here goes the thing. Sorry for such a long post. I had an experience last week that I need to tell the world. Holy fuck, the Aztecs knew how to get loaded. I don't know if I will try that again. I made a brew of 40 cacao beans and 7 grams of potent mushrooms, and another brew with 40 cacao beans in 2 pots, and strained them and combined them with honey and a bit of milk. The end result was a mostly delicious but strong tasting hot chocolate, which one could probably have given to someone unexpectedly, although they would have probably have questioned you due to the aftertaste. Me and my girlfriend split the whole brew into 2 large mugs and drank it within 10 minutes. About 10 minutes later, we already knew we were in for an intense ride. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah. And can you, I'll text her and tell her, can you text her and tell her I'm ready whenever you are? The 315 number? Thanks. Alright, I'm gonna go through this. Because he said he wanted to be shared with the world. We are the world. So let's we are the world. We are the children. Alright, let's make this bigger so y'all can actually see and not just have to rely on my voice. Hey. There we go. As soon as this plays out. Oh, I knew it was, alright. There it is. I think y'all can see that. Alright. Now let's go down this list. Basically, I'm a psilocybin mushroom aficionado, and I like to experiment with combinations of mushrooms with MAOIs and other substances occasionally. I've done mushrooms at least 25 plus times in a range of dosages, the highest being around 5 dry grams, so I've had my fair share of strong trips. I've known for a long time that the Aztecs supposedly combined their chocolate drinks with mushrooms, and as a chocolate lover, this always sounded quite pleasant to me. A few months ago, I came across an article. I'm not allowed to post it, and I decided to do some research on raw cacao. I learned that it contains MOAI similar to Syrian rue, as well as other compounds that apparently work well with in combination with mushrooms. I brought some cacao beans and made a couple small brews the way one would make coffee to test them out, and it was quite pleasant and definitely worked as a gentle pick-me-upper. Anyways, I decided at some point that I will try to replicate what the Aztecs apparently did based on that single article. My girlfriend had around 7 grams of apparently very dried, potent psilocybin mushrooms. Definitely not cubensis. Oh, that's dope. Probably some wood lovers. So I thought we ought to split the bag and have 3.5 each. I tend to believe that diddling that dose is a greater sin than taking larger quantities when it comes to mushrooms, which typically worked out fine for me in the past. But this time I really just didn't know what I was getting myself into. I had tried a very small quantity of mushrooms from the same batch previously, probably 0.5 Gs, and gotten quite notable effects. So I had ought to have known to take a lower dose out of caution, especially when experimenting with this new combination. However, cacao just seemed like such a benign thing at the time, so I wasn't so curious. We really don't properly view chocolate as the drug that it is here in the West, probably because we are unfamiliar with it in its raw form. Hershey done took over. Basically, I made a brew. Yeah, you said this, bro. The end result was mostly, yep. Question, aftertaste, me. Yo, did he give a preview at the beginning of his post? This guy is on something. The experience. Although this happened not much more than a week ago, I cannot say much about it. Largely because it was infallible, but also because, more importantly, the peak of the experience nearly took the character of a 3 to 4 hour blackout. That was not a blackout characteristic of one that would be induced by alcohol. Rather, it was more like a total and complete disfiguring of human personality, ego, sense of self, and all the normal mental apparatuses that keep us feeling like normal human beings with all of our everyday mental capacities. The experience had plenty of visions. In fact, they were probably the first thing we noticed. And by about 30 minutes into the experience, we were glued to the bed, staring at a room that was breathing more and more intensely. During this, there was an increasing feeling in our bodies of extreme distortion and heaviness. This was all typical high-dose mushroom stuff, but the effects were coming on fast and a character far more out of control than usually I feel to be the case. And most significantly, my feeling of being a human personality ego quickly dissolved into a slew of intense psychedelic reverie and confused abstractions. Me and my girlfriend were still able to move around at this point, although the need to be lying down became increasingly apparent by the time the first hour had passed. It got to the point where we could hardly contemplate getting up. All right, get to the trip. At some point, I'm like, get to the trip. At some point before the first hour marked, I had somewhat terrifying realization that I needed to take a shit. At this point, you should have never ate. At this point, walking around and doing menial, and then little task was extraordinary challenging. I definitely got the job done properly, but I freaked out from the sweat on my clothes and self and thought I may have pissed myself at some point, so I changed into a robe. I was so out of it, I forgot to wash my hands and ran back up to the stairs to the bathroom. It felt as though it took me hours to take a shit, only to forget the basic sanitation. This was one of the last things I remember before I completely lost my sense of self. It's a meme that goes around where it's a guy sitting on the toilet and he's like, "Oh, these mushrooms didn't work, man," and then instantly he's taken to another room and he's like, "Oh." My girlfriend was still holding. Why does it do that? They start kicking in when you use the bathroom or after you done. It's like a purge. My girlfriend was still holding on at this point, but I felt most definitely gone. We barely managed to put on some Beethoven before we could. They said we got to put on the classics before we completely lost contact with normal reality on the bed. There is not much more I can say about the peak of the trick, other than that it was almost entirely abstract from everyday reality. I remember feeling as though I was seeing subconscious processes of my mind which I was never meant to see, and I think my girlfriend felt the same way. This feature of the trip was so captivating and terrifying that we were incapable of appreciating any other aspects of the trip. Sex was far out of the question. Changing the song was as well. The visuals could not be appreciated because I was the visuals, and the visuals were my thoughts, and my thoughts were so abstract and alarming that I just wanted to end it all after a half hour. Just to end half hour in. I can hardly remember nor appreciate what the thoughts consisted of now. During the peak, there was almost no sense of physical size to any of the objects I can see with eyes open, and time itself seemed to barely exist, and only in a very abstract sense. Me and my girl were holding on to basic sanity. Whatever I was at that time, was trying to draw a narrative thread through the whole experience in order to make sense of what was happening. Me and my girlfriend were talking for a large portion of the trip, but through the peak, communication became extremely difficult. Primarily because it felt as though we had a 5-second short-term memory. We turned into Dory the fish. By the time we would get to the end of a sentence, we would forget what we were saying. I'm sure we would have sounded completely insane to anyone else. Would they have been there? We were repeating ourselves incessantly and going through periods where we could not tell if we would ever be normal again. We broke our brain. We were both experiencing overwhelming emotions of all sorts of varieties, but especially anxiety about our sanity. She was nearly crying at points, and I had to assure her several times that everything would be okay, even though I had no clue if it would be. It's interesting to note that the losses of a sense of time passing felt in those sorts of experiences synonymous with feeling like one would be in that state forever. Also, the fact that we could not form coherent streams of thought for more than a few seconds made it all more impossible to tell if anything was okay or would it be okay. I've experienced ego death, but never for such long period. A sober sitter would have been a good idea. Or it just was good as it played out. We assured ourselves many times in our more sober moments that we would never do this again. Let's finish the story. When we finally could get out the bed again after nearly 3 or 4 hours of being in and out of ego death, we felt like it was a godsend. We felt like we were physically sober, even though there were plenty of visuals still. It finally felt like a normal 3.5 trip because we could actually appreciate what we were tripping. After the peak, this experience was pretty typical of mushrooms, although perhaps with a heightened sense of energy from the cacao. Most significantly, we were happy to just be somewhat sane again with our newfound ability to enjoy normal things. We talked about how we just wanted to be like an old couple and enjoy simple things in life like tea and having a garden. Drugs seemed out of the question for a long time. The next day, we just was enjoying being alive as normal human beings with memory and normal thoughts and behavior. We even visited a Buddhist monastery for a dinner, and the meditation sensation felt great. And now he's saying, but I suspect that it gave him an energy boost due to the high dose of mushrooms and synergy with the mild MRI effects of the cacao, that the psychedelic became too overwhelming, at least for ourselves at the time. All right, at least he said that. It was his experience and had a distinct character which was more abstract, and I say analytic or autistic than a normal high dose mushroom experience. I think the main lesson to be learned from this experience is that the ancient shamanic technology should not be messed around with lightly. It's hard to say how much of the effects we experienced were due to the cacao, but it sure seemed evident that the experience had a unique and overwhelming character to it. Ah, start with a low dose. Thanks for reading this long ass post. I left out a lot of things that could be said, and this still ended up being long as hell. But thank you. Thank you for posting this. What's your tag name? What is your tag? What's your name? What's your sign? Thank you, Material Mind. Oh, he really grounded himself. But that's how these experiences be coming about. They be so extreme that it seems though you blocking yourself out. But really, being able, you see how he said he was able to enjoy the simple things. That's all they wanted to do. He probably didn't have that kind of way and view towards life beforehand. So it was really a warping experience that weeks down the line started to unfold itself to him. I see that's how it is with me. Like the experience can be that, it can be scary, it can be shaky, it be like, I'm not doing this again. But then the day after, it's like, yo, I'm ready for another trip. It's like this, and then the experience start folding out, and I start seeing what was really going on, what was trying to talk to, what was I showing myself, and it start talking to me through my environment. As long as I keep my mind open up to it and not shy away from it or try to brush it off and stuff like that too much. And really just relax and come on the Thai show and talk with y'all. and hear other people Thai and tell their Thai stories and what was going on, and allows us to keep going deeper into the thoughts that we didn't really want to deal with because they seem too chaotic, they seem too much. It seemed like, man, that's not even something I should be dealing with right now. Like how we was talking about in the beginning of the podcast, how certain thoughts pop up in certain things. But going into that darkness, going into being the hero of your own story, the hero's journey, so to speak. So that's cool. I like that experience. So if y'all ever have any experiences, y'all can type them out, or y'all come on the Discord or anything like that, and just share them. Share them. If they was scary, if they was life changing, or if you don't even know why you had the experience in the first place. I won't know why you had the experience, or somebody else probably can give some lines, or I could probably just give some tidbits, or just talk, or sometimes just talking it out, just tying it out, hearing what your gut is saying, and then combining with your heart and your mind, combining all those three circles, like whatever come out, come out. Start hearing things you're saying to yourself, catch up and say, oh yeah. New memories start popping up, and then you keep your own ball rolling. Instead of like waiting for somebody else to give your ball a little tug or something. Sometimes that's what's needed. That's sometimes what's needed, and that's why we all here. That's why we all here. I want to see I'm seeing if he had anything in the comments. See, here it is. I wanted to hear what he still had to say. I knew he a real psychonaut. He said, somebody said, thanks for sharing. It's pretty wild. I make sure to never do that, LOL. And then he said, who am I kidding? I have every intention of doing this. Just a lower dose, much lower. And then somebody's saying, stirring some raw cacao powder and honey into hot chocolate type of beverage is my preferred method. I never heard the honey thing. And I'd be willing to give them away. I don't think you're really taking like psychedelics for a while. Oh, no, this is him. I got it all backwards. Yeah, he's still like it. But this was 2 years ago. I'm trying to see if he wrote something. If he wrote something recently that wasn't 2 years ago. So he said, I may have made it sound worse than it was. I wouldn't say it was a nightmare trip. It was more just extremely difficult to get through at certain points. Heroin wouldn't be a bad description, but once it started to dissipate, I felt pretty okay with things. And this is what he said, not me. So I did put words in his mouth, but he wound up typing them out 2 years ago anyway. And with that awesome experience, guys, I'm going to tie on out. Have a terrific day. Make sure y'all give a hallelujah to yourself. And and keep yourself in the good spirits and good joys and good flows in your flow. You just go and do what you do. Stay true. Shout outs to True and King Eyes and everyone out there, man. Everyone out there. Much love, much respect.